Hey everybody, I figured it'd be a little bit easier if I did a video update rather than doing a whole bunch of pictures over and over and over this summer. So we're going to go ahead and get into the Homestead update for July, first week of July 2022. Let's take a look. Grapes. So as you've seen from previous updates, the grapes have been doing pretty well as far as growth, but we do have a problem. I don't know if you can see this or not, but we have dreaded black rot. So what we have to do, I guess it is a soil issue. What we have to do is essentially get all of these black raisins and get them off, throw them away, get them out of here so they don't fall back into the ground and start the cycle again next season. Get them out of here, and then I have a copper fungicide that I'm going to spray on everything to try to hopefully fix some of the damage. From my learnings online, black rot can take between 5 and 80% of a crop, so that really sucks. But we are going to get this cleaned up here in the next couple of days and hope for the best. There's also a robin that has taken hold and put a nest in here, and she's got some babies. But we're going to leave them alone and let her be. Everybody can see the pond right now. Looking okay, a little cloudy from the rain we've gotten today. Here we'll feed the fish. Tell them hello. Ferocious. Definitely growing. Everyone's doing good. I think we're going to get one more koi, at least one more placostoma. Try to cut down on some of this algae. But they're doing well. Nikki's lily pads and lily flowers are doing okay in here. Got one down here that'll probably bloom tomorrow if it's sunny. Over here in the orchard, apples are doing pretty good. We're still having quite a few drop off, but that's pretty typical for this tree. Still unsure as to what I'm going to do with it. My wife wants to get rid of it. I'm on the fence about it. I want to try a couple more things, see if we can't do maybe applesauce or something with it. Oh, looks like that one up there is bad. That'll be falling here soon. And then we have the cherry tree. We've had a big issue with aphids this year. You can see just taking over and killing the tips. We don't have any cherries on this year, so I'm not super concerned about it. I have done a few aphid sprays on it to kill some of them, but once this starts producing, I'll definitely get a little bit more into getting these aphids and subsequent ants off of there. Peaches are doing all right. Really no complaints aside from the squirrels who come up and they literally take a bite and then leave it to rot, so that's fun. But aside from that, they are growing pretty well. No plums this year, so I don't think we're going to get any plums, but it's all right next year. Pears over here, pears are doing pretty well. I've done a lot of trimming on this tree to get new growth and new life into it. So I'm pretty happy with the results. I'll have quite a bit more dead, it looks like, over here that I need to get out. But I can't be too upset with how many pears we're getting. It's looking good. Mr. Bunny over here, he's been digging a hole to China, apparently. He's dug so many holes and I keep backfilling them. But I think he's made just a little den here to get himself a little bit cooler. As long as it doesn't dig too far, we'll allow it. I just don't want him getting out. I don't think he has the best defensive skills. He's got some radish plants in there with him and some apples that he's been eating on here and there. As everyone could tell, he's obviously been eating good. Knocked over his water dish into his hole. That's fun. So yes, you guys may have seen, we have the chicken coop They're not out here because it's raining and wet and they're not fully feathered yet, but it's pretty nice. I'll open it up here. It's got some nesting boxes, a couple of roosts, got a good spot in here for them. I think they'll stay pretty safe and dry. And then they've got their run out here. And then I did add some extra chicken wire to the top and to the sides just to keep any predators out. It does have a little access door back here to get the eggs, so that's cool. Definitely be using that hopefully here in the next couple of months. But yeah, there's the new addition to the homestead. And over here, of course, we have our blueberries. We did have one tiny blueberry this year, so not very good at production, but they are growing. And that's really all we can do is just continue to let them grow, and hopefully next year we'll get some. Now over to the tomato, basil, onions, marigold plants. They're doing pretty well. Quite a few of them. We have several different varieties. These are a golden pear. That's our daughter's favorite. You can tell her in there. They're really good, pretty sweet. Producing not too shabby. With all the heat we've had here, everything's kind of slowed down. This basil plants went crazy. Kind of slowed everything down. Here's some eggplant here in this area. I had to cage it because it was eaten up and it's just taken off. This basil has went to seed, so I'll grab some of these heads and give them over to the bunny. Got another eggplant there, some more marigolds, basil, tomato, 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 tomato. Plenty of them on. Still a while from harvest, but that's okay. With the weather this year, things have been a little bit slower, I've noticed, especially looking back at previous posts that I've made about the garden. We're a couple weeks behind everything right now. I don't know, call it a sign of the times or weird weather or whatever. Maybe it's because they shot Harambe, but that's where we're at right now. This one, pretty productive, got quite a few tomatoes on. Definitely gonna have to get some bigger cages for some of these. This end has not done so well. Those eggplants are eaten up by rabbits, so they got caged. Like that pitiful tomato plant really hasn't done much of anything. The other ones from this pack, all these were in the same pack together. They've done all right, but that one is pitiful. See the onions coming up in some areas. Some of them are going to be okay. Some of them, like this little thing back here, you can barely even tell that's what it is, but yeah, it's a little onion. That one's going to be okay. There's some more down here that are going to be pretty decent sized. Like, where are they? That one's going to be decent sized. That one's going to be decent sized. This one's going to be okay. Looks like something's been eating them, or they're snapping from the heat. Not 100% sure. As long as the bulb's okay, I guess it doesn't really matter. That one's pretty good size down there. So that's the update for this section. All right, so this is our herb area. With the heat, even with constant and frequent watering, we've just had a heck of a time keeping everything alive over here. Lettuces got scorched. The kale's done okay. Chives and bunching onions and garlic, they've done okay. But everything else, like our cilantro, rosemary, tomatillo, mint, thyme, I think I said that already. All those just got ate up and burnt up, so that kind of sucks. Over here, I planted our second round of sunflowers after the squirrels ate all the first one. I'm gonna put some hardware cloth over it just to keep them out. But I don't know if it's just from the heat or what, but we have not had anything come up, and they should have by now. I think I'll be getting some pumpkin seeds into the ground here soon so we can have those for the fall party. And then over here, the rhubarb is just doing fantastic. Of course, the food that no one wants to eat is doing great. That's how it goes, though. All right, so we have our watermelon patch over here, and also volunteer tomato patch. They're doing okay. Again, with the heat that we've had this past week and the week before that and the week before that, it's kind of slowed everything, but we do have blooms, so that's the important thing. Hopefully we can get that to take off and get us some watermelons here soon. Oh, more volunteer tomatoes down there. Cantaloupe over here, had to cage it again because something keeps eating the blooms. I think it's the pesky rabbits that we have that stay over here. So there's that. Strawberry bed is doing okay. I've hit it with some copper fungicide spray, and we have restarted production. That one's been eaten. So those are a couple good ones. I'll be picking those today, getting those inside. That's doing pretty good. And we have okra up here, and that is growing really, really well. I'm very proud of how the okra is doing. We have some down there. See, quite a few on this, so that's doing really well. The radishes are doing okay. We've just been thinning as they've bolted and then given the plants over to Bunny. We have gotten quite a few radishes out. You can tell down there some of them, like this one here, maybe something that we could pick here in the next couple of days. I'll have to feel around on that one. Those I think are the watermelon ones. They're pretty good. So that's how that is doing. Over here with some of the peppers. Peppers are doing pretty good. Some of them that we planted later in the season, like these and these over here, are still struggling with the heat, but they do have blooms and buds on, so that's good. Looks like we got some lamb's quarter growing in there too, which might let that grow and try that this fall. All right, this is our hot peppers. They're doing really well too. We do have quite a few on, quite a few buds, quite a few blooms. You can see some of them in here. You can eat them green, still spicy. You can let them turn red, still spicy. And then over here, our green beans are doing really, really well. We do have quite a few green beans on. Some of them a little bit bigger than others. Yeah, those are purple. Purple green beans all in the middle here. And there's quite a few on there. Quite a few over here. And more in the back. So those are doing well. Sugar snap peas. They didn't really train as well as I wanted to this year. I've had some that trained really well, and this one just kind of fell over, but they do have quite a few of the sugar snap peas on, and we've already harvested some already. And we have this volunteer tomato plant that just popped up here, so we'll let that grow and get some more tomatoes. All right, so more tomatoes and potatoes. Volunteer tomatoes just again went crazy. Tons of blooms on here. They went back. We have our potatoes. They're doing well. They have started dying back. I got this one I need to cut out. They have started dying back, so that's a good sign. Once they've completely died back, then we will be pulling them up and out of there and seeing how many potatoes we actually harvested. But it's looking really good, and I'm feeling really good about this year's harvest. Cucumbers, we do have some on, I believe, and we have quite a few buds and blooms growing. I personally hate pickles. I hate cucumbers. I see no use for them. Oh, there's one. But everyone else in the house likes them, so we will keep producing. We have our tomatoes growing, some squash, and more tomatoes, of course. This squash is doing great. Got some more in there, more tomatoes, more, I think this is the zucchini, more tomatoes. This is the honey nut squash that a friend of mine gave to me, and it is growing quite well. More squash, another tomato. Honeyberry plant's done well. We're gonna have to get another one for cross-pollinating. We just haven't found one yet. Blueberries and dreaded poison ivy. I'm gonna have to go to the other side and cut out, probably spray. More blueberries. Again, nothing coming in. Raspberries, no raspberries this year. No raspberries this year. Well, I'll take it back. We do have a little bit of raspberry growth, so that's cool. I didn't think we were going to get any, but looks like we may. But blackberries, my goodness, we have so many blackberries. They're just taking over. But, you know, I'm fine with it. We're going to get back here and look at how big that is. It's a monstrous. It's huge. Huge. Mulberry tree, got a few mulberries on it this year, nothing too crazy, but hopefully we'll be able to get some more next year, let it produce some extra food for the chickens and the rabbit and us too. Well, thank you for watching, sure appreciate it, and see you next time.